Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home. Thanks for coming back to the channel today for this 4K review. Today, we're getting back to some of the older titles that I just didn't have a chance to get to right when they came out. And this has always been part of my channel and a series that I like to call, Is It Worth an Upgrade? So today we're taking a look at the classic Stephen King, Rob Reiner movie, Stand By Me. Now, this movie came out in 1986. It's widely regarded as one of the best adaptations of any of Stephen King's books, and I believe it's the one that Stephen King actually likes the most. So Stand By Me had his mark of approval, and it is a great classic. It's presented here on 4K from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment, who's had a long-standing tradition of really good 4K catalog releases. So we're going to jump into this, check out visuals, audio, special features, and packaging, and ultimately answer that question: is it worth an upgrade for your movie collection? So diving right in now into the visuals. This was shot on 35mm, given that it was shot in 1986, and this is a new 4K transfer from Sony. The detail here looks really, really good. The 4K definitely adds a lot of nice detail, and the obvious, film elements are definitely on display. You've got your grain structure. You've got a few moments, just tiny moments here and there, where there's like maybe dirt on the print or something, but I barely noticed them, and that's pretty typical with anything that's restored from film. But overall, the detail looks great. It really does add a lot. You'll see in some close-up shots here that I'm going to put on the screen that you get a much more refined edge. You get a much more detailed, things like people's faces, forest, trees, plants, things like that are much more refined and really, really better than the Blu-ray. But the big selling point here, as good as the detail is, the Blu-ray was actually really good as well, with just a detail quality resolution on 1080p. The biggest upgrade here is the HDR, and I almost hesitated to say upgrade because this was an upgrade for me in most cases, but I think that some people may like the Blu-ray better. It's going to come down to personal preference. Now, you'll see in some of the screenshots that the HDR in this release is actually a little bit more muted in some places. It's a little bit less saturated than the Blu-ray disc, but it also looks a little bit more natural to me. So clear example here is you can look at these guys in the crowd, right? Their yellow shirts are very bright on the Blu-ray on the bottom of the image, and on the top of the image is the 4K, where they're a much more muted, kind of natural yellow color, sort of what you'd expect from a polo shirt like that. You'll also see here when we zoom in on some of the plants and in the forest as the kids are walking through the trails that the green really does pop more on HDR. So that's kind of the opposite. They kind of took a muted green, and those highlights, those primary colors, the red, greens, and blues, in this scene at least, have been amped up, and I think it looks a lot better. But then we dive into this next sequence and check out the blue sky here. Now, the top is again the 4K, bottom is the Blu-ray. Personally, I kind of like the Blu-ray better because the sky looks more natural, the colors of his shirt look more natural, but his face, the skin tone, is a little bit too saturated, too oversaturated for me. So it's going to be kind of a give and take here. There's some moments where they kind of increase the saturation, some where they turned it down. Overall, I do think it's a better picture. I think the HDR changes and the color grading changes here make it look better, make it look more natural, but there are a few moments that may throw you off. There are a few moments here that you may say, I think the Blu-ray looked better, but I'd say 80% of the picture here does look better with HDR, and the other 20% isn't bad by any means. It just may be a noticeable shift from what you're used to with viewing this movie over the years on DVD, Blu-ray, on streaming, wherever you watched it. It's going to be a little bit of a different color grading than what you're used to. So definitely let me know in the comments like what you guys think about that. If you've seen this release, overall I think the visuals are very, very strong. The HDR does add a lot, and that added 4K quality, of course, when you get 35mm film, it makes a world of difference. Everything is much sharper, much cleaner, and Sony did a great job. But I do think there'll be some controversy on the HDR versus SDR, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Now, in audio for this release, we are getting a Dolby Atmos track, which although this isn't maybe the biggest soundtrack, biggest audio track in the world, anytime you get that Dolby Atmos upgrade, that certainly helps justify a purchase to 4K, right? Because the previous Blu-ray did not have Atmos. Now we're upgrading Atmos, we're upgrading visuals, we're upgrading color grading with HDR. We're seeing all the things we want to see here. In this Atmos track, is it a world's difference from what was previously available? No, probably not, but I do think dialogue is a little bit more well balanced and clear. You do get a few odd effects here and there, and some of the high intensity moments and some of the score does sound a little bit better with Atmos. But you know, the biggest upgrade typically is visuals, but you always want to see the audio as well, especially if it's a bigger movie with a lot more audio elements. This maybe isn't one of them. It has its moments here and there, but the Atmos upgrade definitely makes it you know, a worthy audio upgrade over its Blu-ray counterpart. And so audio and visual, both of them were very, very good here for this release, and I was happy with the purchase. Now the packaging, I actually got lucky. I don't know how, because I bought this on Amazon like months after it was released, and I still got a slipcover here, so that's cool. It is just 4K and Blu-ray. It did not come with an HD code, and both the discs are pretty standard, nothing crazy here. The 4K does actually have some deleted and alternate scenes on it, which, you know, they're saying are never before seen. And then Blu-ray has your picture-in-picture commentary with Rob Reiner, Will Wheaton, and Corey Feldman. It has behind the scenes on the summer of Stand By Me when they were filming, an audio-only commentary with Rob Reiner, and then the Stand By Me music video. But it is kind of cool that even on the 4K disc, they're just in HD resolution, but you're getting deleted and alternate scenes, which weren't previously available in the Blu-ray, so that's a very cool addition here for 4K. So overall, Stand By Me, I think, is a very worthy upgrade, especially since I've been seeing it hover around the $12 to $13 price range right now. That's a great price range for a 4K upgrade. I actually didn't have it in my collection somehow on Blu-ray, so for $12 for me, this was a no-brainer. But if you do have it on Blu-ray and you're really itching to upgrade to 4K and you really love this movie and want the best possible version, you got HDR, you got 4K resolution with the new transfer, you got Dolby Atmos, and you even got some new special features. So overall, very much worth an upgrade, especially for 12 or 13 bucks. And I would highly recommend adding it to your collection if you don't already own it, and upgrading if you do. So I'll leave a link down in the description. You can pick up Stand By Me on 4K. That helps support my channel, so I really appreciate that. Also, make sure to check out all the other links in my description for ways you can support me and follow me on social media. And make sure you're subscribed and like this video so others will see it and we keep spreading the word about physical media. The bigger this channel grows and the bigger other channels like mine grow, the better it is for all of us. It's more exposure for collectors, it's more knowledge out there into the industry, and for people who haven't moved to physical. So it's all good stuff, and subscribing and liking helps keep that train rolling. So I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Definitely let me know what you think. I'm sure a lot of you already have this disc, but if you don't yet, definitely don't sleep on it. It's going to be worth an upgrade. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I will talk to you soon.